The Knicks entered last night's game against the Indiana Pacers without their top two players and All-NBA candidates Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle. They were also without their third leading scorer in RJ Barrett. The Pacers seemingly have entered tank mode the past few weeks, so many still assume the Knicks had a pretty good shot at winning. However, they didn't expect what ended up happening. For the first time in NBA history, the Knicks had a trio of players who all had 30 points and made 5 or more threes. Those players would be Immanuel Quickley, who finished with 39 points, Quentin Grimes, who finished with 36, and Obi Toppin, who had 32. These players just happen to be the Knicks' last 3 first-round draft picks. All 3 players are 25 or younger, with Grimes being the youngest at 22. For years now, outsiders have looked at the Knicks as the team to potentially land the next big star that asks out via trade. They did look at it with Donovan Mitchell last summer, but he ended up on the Cavs. However, they may not need to trade for one of those disgruntled stars. They have 2 players that are in conversations to make All-NBA already. Neither is a top 10 player right now, but they're both trending upward. Outside of that, the young core is much better than people think. Quickley, Grimes, and Toppin all have sneakily high upsides, and their growth can help take this team to the next level. For a while, it seemed as if people were skeptical of the Knicks' young pieces, but they should be buying in now. To truly understand how good this young Knicks trio is and can be, let's take a look at their seasons and their performances last night. Before we get into the talented Knicks young core, if you enjoy my content and watch a few videos of mine, think about subscribing. 96% of my viewers are actually not subscribed, so if you watched me before and enjoy the content, drop a sub and comment down below. It really helps the channel. Let's start with Immanuel Quickley, as he's likely the best player of the bunch right now. He was selected with the 25th overall pick in the 2020 NBA draft. I'd say he's already outperformed that draft slot. He's gotten more minutes each season, and this year has pretty easily been his best to date. For the season, IQ has averaged 14 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists per game, while shooting 45% from the field and 36% from 3. He's been the Knicks' most important bench player all season, and has taken over their 6-man role. In the process, he's become the best 6th man in the league right now, being the heavy favorite to win the 6th Man of the Year award on all betting sites right now. That's thanks to a phenomenal late season push where he has claimed the award wholeheartedly. In 20 games since the All-Star break, IQ has put up 20 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists per game, while shooting 47% from the field and 40% from 3. He has emerged as the Knicks' 3rd best player and will be extremely important for their playoff run this season. He's not the best passing guard out there, but he is a great scorer. He also gives full effort on the defensive end at all times, which is what has earned him the full trust and adoration of head coach Tom Thibodeau. Now let's talk about his crazy performance last night. Quickley was the star of the show in the Knicks' win, finishing with 39 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds, and 2 steals, hitting 7 threes in the process. He's had a few giant scoring outbursts over the past month or so, but this is up there with his best. It's given us a glimpse of the leap he could make next season to become possibly a near all-star level player. He's been that good as of late. His ceiling is much higher than most expected, and his two-way ability can make him one of the NBA's most valuable guards. Now let's talk about the guard who starts for the Knicks already, Quentin Grimes. He's the youngest of the 3 at 22 years old, and is only in his 2nd season. He's obviously earned the trust of the coaching staff pretty early on, with his minutes exploding from about 17 a night in year 1 to nearly 30 a night in his 2nd year. For the season, he's averaged 11 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists per game, while shooting 46% from the field and 38% from 3. I've made a full video about him already, and I do think he has all-star level upside. He showed out over All-Star Weekend in the Rising Stars games, and has scored very well whenever given more opportunity. A thing that stood out to me, though, when looking over the film for that video, is that he's a much better passer than people realize. He has nearly mastered the drive and kick, flinging passes out to shooters from all angles and directions in the post. Speaking of shooters, he's not a bad one himself, and right now presents a really solid 3-and-D type player. He, like Quickley, has picked it up since the All-Star break. He's averaged 13 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists, but the biggest jump is efficiency, as he shot 51% from the field and 45% from 3 in those 20 games. Now let's talk about his performance last night. He put up 36 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 steals, while also hitting 5 threes. It was a great performance, and he showed both his shooting prowess and ability to attack off the dribble. He's taken a surprisingly big jump in year 2, and he can become a really great player, but he's already a really good one. Next, let's talk about Obi Toppin. He's the oldest of the trio at 25 years old, and in his 3rd season. He's somewhat of a late bloomer whose draft stock skyrocketed after a shocking National Player of the Year senior season at Dayton. There were many campaigning before the season that the Knicks should trade Julius Randle and move forward with Toppin starting at the 4 spot. After an enormous bounce-back season from Randle where he was named an All-Star, that looks like a bit of an overreaction in hindsight. But rather than a super strong indictment on Randle, it was more of a belief in Toppin's potential by many. His raw stats this season aren't going to wow you. 7 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist per game in only 15 minutes per. But he's shined whenever given a large opportunity. In 13 career games as a starter, he's averaged 21 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists per game, while shooting 58% from the field and 44% from 3. He's a player that needs to get into rhythm and thrives when given the volume to do so. Whenever called upon, he performs, and that's where a lot of the frustration with him being stuck behind Randle has come from. That trend continued last night, where he was given the start. He finished the game with 32 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and made 5 threes. He was a dynamo offensively for the Knicks and played a key part in their victory. He still has star-level potential, but who knows how he'll fit with Randle long-term, or if he'll end up reaching his full potential somewhere else. I know this video is about the trio that went off and made history last night, but this is my video, so I'm going to mention another player I think deserves credit. The one other member of the Knicks' young core I want to shout out is Mitchell Robinson. He's a stud on both ends of the floor and has become one of the league's most underrated starting centers. For the season, he's averaged 7 points, 9 rebounds, 2 blocks, and shot a really nice 69% from the field. He's not going to be the centerpiece of your offense or anything, but he's a phenomenal complementary player and is a key component of the Knicks' success. He's also had a crazy game last night, but since he didn't drop 30, it went a little more under the radar. He finished with 14 points, 16 rebounds, 7 blocks, and 2 steals, and was just a menace on both the glass and defensively. He finished with the 2nd highest plus-minus on the team. He doesn't have star upside like the other 3 most likely, but he's only 25 and still improving. The Knicks' young trio of Immanuel Quickley, Quentin Grimes, and Obi Toppin made history last night, becoming the first such trio in NBA history to all drop 30 points and hit 5 threes. They stepped up big time without Brunson, Randle, and Barrett and led the team to a victory over the Pacers. IQ was the biggest star, finishing with 39 points and essentially locking up his 6th Man of the Year award even though he started. All 3 players have flourished when given more opportunity and have shown flashes of star upside. Will all 3 players end up as all-stars? The odds would say probably not, but they all have high ceilings and two-way talent to increase their value even more. Many claim the Knicks need a trade for a big star, but with Brunson and Randle to go along with this massively underrated young core, the Knicks might just need time. They've overachieved this season and could make some noise in the playoffs. I think people have been skeptical of the Knicks' young pieces for a while, but they should be buying stock in them before everyone realizes how great the young guys are. The Knicks' young core is much better than people realize. Thanks for watching. I'm Herm. Have a good one.